Before the video begins, make sure to check out my man Romp's channel. We made a collab video on his channel talking about mid-season awards. Check it out, link is in the description. Over the past few years, the Golden State Warriors have solidified themselves as the team to beat. Every few years, there's one team that we think could beat them, maybe two, like the Cavs or the Rockets. But somehow, someway, the Warriors always find themselves in the NBA Finals against a weaker Eastern Conference opponent. However, this year, in my opinion, could be the start of something different. In this video, I'll be talking about 4 NBA teams who I believe have a chance to beat the Warriors, alongside my fellow NBA YouTuber, Official Romp. Romp has recently just hit 100 subscribers, and if you're looking for more NBA content, go ahead and check out his channel. He has a lot of dope content, and he talks about a lot of interesting NBA stories. And with all that out of the way, I'm going to be talking about the first team who I think could beat the Golden State Warriors, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Coming in at the 3 seed in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder have been on a roll lately. Over their last 13 games, the Thunder are 11-2 heading into the All-Star break. Paul George and Russell Westbrook have been spearheading the charge. George has been playing like an MVP candidate, averaging over 40 points per game and playing elite defense. Westbrook, on the other hand, has been on a triple-double tear. However, it hasn't just been those two. They've gotten solid contributions from Steven Adams on both sides of the floor, Jeremy Grant has been playing like the athletic power forward we hope he'd be like, and Terrence Ferguson, of all people, has become the team's sharpshooter. Dennis Schroeder is solidifying himself in the 6th Man of the Year race, and Nerlens Noel has been playing some of the best basketball of his career as Adams' backup. Well, how does this coincide with beating the Warriors? Well, on paper, the Thunder have one of the best teams to go up against the Warriors. Curry versus Westbrook will always be one of the most exciting matchups in the NBA, especially with Westbrook's improved defense this season. Terrence Ferguson has the length to stop Klay Thompson, although I don't know he'll be able to do it this early in his career, but we'll see about it. The Paul George and Kevin Durant matchup is also really exciting, maybe even more exciting than that Westbrook-Curry matchup. PG is one of the best two-way players in the league, and one of the most well-equipped players to deal with Durant. It'll be great seeing those two going back and forth. The Draymond Green-Jeremy Grant matchup is actually a lot closer than people think. And I know he's not a scorer, but Draymond has been having one of the worst offensive seasons of his career. He's shooting the worst 3-point percentage since his rookie year, shooting about 23% from there. Teams are obligated to leave him open from 3 because of his backpack-looking jumper. Then you compare this with Jeremy Grant, who's been having the best season of his career. He's really established himself as a 3-and-D4, and he's one of the most athletic players at that position as well. Then we get to the battle of the bigs, Steven Adams versus DeMarcus Cousins. Cousins is coming off that Achilles tear, and Adams is playing the best basketball of his career. The question about that matchup is whether or not DeMarcus Cousins will come back to form. If he doesn't, I think that matchup is actually pretty even. And I haven't even mentioned the Thunder's bench, who I think, in my opinion, is a lot better than the Warriors' bench. Iguodala and Livingston are good, but they really haven't looked like themselves like the past. And don't get me wrong, Quinn Cook and Jordan Bell, they're solid players. But are they really messing with Dennis Schroeder and Nerlens Noel? And recently, the Thunder also signed another good scorer off the bench, Markieff Morris. Who's going to guard him on the Warriors' bench? Jonas Jerebko? I don't think so. Looking at the big picture, the Thunder and Warriors lineups, they're actually pretty similar. Maybe the Warriors have a slight advantage. But the Thunder, in my opinion, have a huge advantage off the bench. And now, I'm going to let my man Romp talk about the next 2 teams on the list.
Another team that has a chance of beating the Warriors is the Toronto Raptors. The one thing that the Raptors have that many teams in the NBA don't have is a dude known as Kawhi Leonard, and he could actually contain Kevin Durant. While if you look at other teams in this league, they have absolutely no one on their roster who can contend with a scorer like Kevin Durant. And another little thing I would like to add about Kawhi Leonard that will help the Raptors is that he has already won a championship, so he knows what it takes, and that will honestly just help the team. Also, probably the only problem with the Warriors is their lack of depth. And the crazy thing about that is the Raptors have one of the best benches in the league. And another thing is that the Raptors just added a veteran presence known as Marc Gasol to their bench. Currently, he's coming off the bench. I don't know if as he gets more familiar with the system, they might put him in the starting lineup. But if they do, that means Serge Ibaka is going to be coming off the bench. And that's pretty good as well. And the Warriors, honestly, they're just getting old. They got Andre Iguodala, who just isn't the same. Sean Livingston hasn't looked like that mid-range deadeye like he used to be. So honestly, that is one of the Golden State's problems, and the Raptors, that is one of their strong points. Now we move on to another Eastern Conference team, and that is the new look Philadelphia 76ers. Now the Sixers are probably the only team in the NBA that if you put an image of each of their starting fives, you could potentially argue that they have the better starting five. But the main reason I would give the Sixers a fighting chance against the Golden State Warriors is because a man known as Joel Embiid, I honestly think he would be a nightmare matchup for the Golden State Warriors. In the past, Joel Embiid has been an absolute monster against DeMarcus Cousins, and he showed it once again this season when they played. He had 26 points and 20 rebounds. Plus, DeMarcus is coming off that major injury, so honestly, in a 7-game series, it would be very hard for him to contend with Joel Embiid. Also, just a little side note, I don't want to value a regular season win too much, but the Sixers did beat the Golden State Warriors, and they matched up pretty well against them, and that was with their terrible bench. And now that they got Tobias and all them, and their bench is better, it makes them even more of a contender against the Warriors.
The last team that I'll be talking about is currently the best team in the NBA record-wise. We're talking about the Milwaukee Bucks. So how could the Bucks beat the Warriors? Well, they have someone named Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they have him surrounded with elite shooters. It's actually crazy how much shooting that they have on this team. Literally, Eric Bledsoe, he's a decent 3-point shooter. Chris Middleton, he's an elite 3-point shooter. Malcolm Brogdon, he's a good 3-point shooter. Nikola Mirotic, he's a good 3-point shooter. And Brook Lopez, the 7-foot center who's attempting more 3s than 2s? That's crazy, man. On the season, the Bucks and Warriors have split their matchups, with the Bucks winning the first one by 23 points, and the Warriors winning the second one by 10 points. The key for the Bucks in this matchup is for Giannis to play the best series he's ever played. And it's just because that they don't have enough talent on that roster. Maybe you could argue Klay and Chris Middleton, but still, I would take Klay over him. Giannis is literally the Bucks' only hope. He's going to have to play out of his mind. He's going to have to score, he's going to have to rebound, he's going to have to defend. But in my opinion, most importantly, he's going to have to set up his teammates. He's going to have to use his gravity to suck in a lot of defenders and kick it out to the open shooter so they have a comfortable shot to take. If the shooter's shots are falling, then it's going to be a competitive series. But if not, I think the Bucks will be outmatched. Only time will tell. And listen, before I go, make sure to go subscribe to Romp's channel. He makes really good NBA content like I said before, and he's really underrated. He deserves a lot more subscribers than he has. Let's go show him some love. I just want to thank him for being a really good person to collaborate with. He's a really cool guy, and he made things really easy. So, make sure to go subscribe to him and show him some love. But, with that being said, make sure you comment down below who you think is another team who could beat the Warriors. Make sure to hit the like button, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and make sure to put post notifications on. And with that being said, have a good one.